there's a brand new vehicle, there is a free vehicle that you can pick up, and of course there's some new contracts out as well. So we're going to have a look at exactly what you need to do in order to pick up the free vehicle. We're going to have a look at the contracts and of course all of the rest of the update news, including this new Cold War vehicle as well, what it's all about, the Alvis Stormer 30, and of course there'll be a review of the vehicle tomorrow that you can have a look at as well. So without further ado, let's have a look at the community event for Thanksgiving, because we're all able to pick one up, a free tank, that is a free premium as well, that is the Earthshaker STRV 102 medium tank, which is a tier 8 Swedish medium tank that actually is more like a British medium tank, that has a Hesh round gun. So if you know about the Dragonlance C, which is the Swedish tier 8 kind of medium tank as well, it has the opportunity to actually load Hesh rounds which deal 480 damage. Now the Earthshaker is essentially that tank and has this really powerful Hesh round kind of gun, and that allows you to essentially deal a ton more damage at everyone you're going to be facing, and it is actually a really good tank, to be honest with you. It's a Centurion 7/1 kind of gun, but of course a tier lower and on a Centurion 1 hull, which makes it quite good. Now how do you actually get this tank? Well, that is the key thing, and there'll be a review of the Earthshaker coming up in the next couple of days as well, since we're going to be working towards it as a community, since, you know, you playing like hundreds of games isn't going to make a massive difference to how we're able to achieve this. But we have until the 28th of November, which gives us 3 weeks to be able to complete this, and you can join in right now as this video is released to be able to complete it. Now, how do you actually get the points to complete this operation? Well, you get 3 points for getting a first win with 3 different tanks. So that's how you can get 3 points. But how else can you get points? Well, you can get bonus points if you assist in 350 or more damage in a battle, will give you 1 point. If you destroy 1 or more vehicles in any number of battles, you'll get 1 point. And if you survive a battle in which you've earned 250 or more XP, you'll get 2 points as well. So that will give you a grand total of, if you then get a first win with 3 tanks, and then that final game you manage to get 350 assistance damage, destroy a tank and survive with 250 or more XP, you will end up getting about 7 points. And of course that relies on you completing all of these to be able to do it, but 7 points is not too bad. But when you realize how many points the community need to earn, it is gonna take a while for us to be able to complete it, and it usually takes, you know, between 2 weeks and 3 weeks for us to actually finish this operation. And typically Wargaming will do these events where the community have to partake to be able to earn these free premiums, and usually they make it so that they take their average numbers, I expect, for like how many battles are played in a month, and then they probably work it down to that period of time. And then they're like, yeah, we are pretty certain that everyone is going to be able to get this tank as long as they continue to play as they've been playing for the last, you know, X amount of time since they took their data point. And so they make it basically, it's a guarantee that we're going to be able to get it. It's not particularly difficult. And of course, you don't want to make a community event where like individual players can't actually be able to obtain it because the community didn't complete it. So basically everyone's going to be able to get this tank. So that's always good. I think is a good thing. And of course it's like a Thanksgiving bonus to anyone that's celebrating it. And if you're not, then at least you get a free tank as well. So either way, after you've got your points, you can then contribute towards the actual operation. You'll be able to pick up yourself some silver. We'll all get premium time. We'll get some commander XP boosters, some emblems to do with Thanksgiving, of course. We'll be able to get some vehicle XP boosters. You'll get a ton of premium consumables, some more silver. You'll get some camo as well, which is good. And of course that permanent camo, so you can apply it to your tank, which is always good. And then garage gear, you'll get some stacked hay bales, so essentially pretty useless, but I mean it's free stuff to go in your garage. And of course you'll get 2 silver boosters as well, and then when when the community reaches 30 million points, you will then be able to get the STRV 102, which is the Earthshaker, which is the premium tank we've talked about. So, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. It's just get 30 million total points between all of us, and it should be quite nice. And considering there's probably hundreds of thousands of games that are played on a monthly average, if not more, and considering that there are 15 tanks on each side, so 30 players in a game, and times that by, you know, say on average a person gets 1 point, which I'm sure it's probably more like most people are getting 2 or 3 points in a game. On average, then yeah, it wouldn't take too long to be able to complete it. So I'm almost certain we're going to be able to reach this goal. So hopefully we will. Maybe that will come back to bite me in the arse in a few weeks, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be able to be achievable with the amount of players we have, and of course so many tanks in every game and so many games being played in a month. So yeah, I mean, I'm very well down for it. I like this tank. It's a good one. It's not overpowered and it's not underpowered. It's just a nice little balance. It's a strong tank for sure. It's competitive, it's good, but it's not overpowered, which is nice to see. And of course, given that it is given out as a free vehicle, you don't want to be seeing a load of AVREs rolling around in World of Tanks. So without that, what else do we have? Well, we have the brand new Alvis Stormer 30. So this is what this vehicle in the background is all about. It is a, from what it seems, a light tank for the Western Alliance, and this is a Detente era, so it's era 3, and essentially what it is just a fast vehicle that is capable of being annoying, and that is because it has this tiny little pea shooter, I guess. So it has a 30mm Mark 44 Bushmaster 2 with actual okay penetration, but you're probably going to need to come up against the side armor and the rear of most of the tanks you're going to be hitting. And of course you only have 40 damage per shell, or 50 if you're loading HE, but I mean HE is just never going to pen, so you're basically only going to be firing the standard rounds in this thing to be able to pen and obviously do damage. And of course you've got 150 shells in the clip, allowing you with some quick maths to be able to do 6,000 total damage with this thing. But you do have a intra-clip reload of 0.3 seconds, so you can fire 3 rounds a second, so you're dealing 120 damage in a second, so it's pretty quick to stack up that damage. But of course you've got to be round the back of them somewhere where you can pen with 220 pen, so it's probably quite usable and quite fun to use, but you have to use it in that kind of I guess stealthy way, go around people, use it really fast and come around and then out traverse them and deal your damage with this standard round. And then yeah, a dual tube tow launcher, just what we needed in Cold War, was another tiny little vehicle capable of firing more tow launchers, which means that this tank has 800 penetration with its standard, 1000 with its premium, meaning that there is literally no reason why you would not fire the premium round in this tank if you wanted to be the most competitive. Now obviously if you want to save silver, you'll fire the standard round, but remember, this is a Cold War premium that earns you an additional 55% silver, so even if you fire full premium, have full premium consumables, use every single premium round on your standard round, you'll probably still make money in every game that you play in this vehicle. So if it means that you pen versus don't pen, then it is 100% worth using those premium tow rounds, and I would recommend basically using full premium in this, as they don't even get slower speed or anything like that. There is literally no disadvantage to using the premium rounds, which is always the best feature from wargaming. But either way, you might think, this is a double tow launcher though. Yeah, and you might be thinking, uh-oh, we're going to be able to fire 1-2 really quick in this tank. But no, it actually has a somewhat balancing feature in that you can reload in 12 seconds, which is not too horrendous. But at the same time, 12 seconds and then you wait 24.5 seconds. So in order to fully reload this tank and fire both shells, you're going to have to take about 36.5 seconds, which isn't too bad. And then when you consider that you can then use your rapid loading skill on your commander to reduce it even more, and you can probably put ventilation on this tank, then you can reduce this reload even shorter. So you can therefore fire out more rounds more quickly and deal more damage per minute than what is currently shown here. So it's going to be pretty disgusting, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this tank actually plays, and hopefully it isn't just another weasel, but yeah, rolling around dealing a ton of damage. Yeah, it won't be very fun if that's the case, except this one actually has a gun as well, so yeah. View range 550 meters, very good. I mean, not really any problems in that department, but of course Cold War, you can see everyone in the game anyway, but view range just allows you to spot them, pinpoint them easier, and of course then know where they are after you've spotted them if they go undetected, to realize, oh yeah, that guy was spotted there a second ago, so he's going to be up in that location roughly, and then you can find them visually after that. So, yeah, tank looks pretty good, but how much is it going to cost? Because that is, yeah, one of the biggest things. And given that this is a Ultimate Edition, it's 16,750 gold for the tank, so advanced optics, advanced zoom, and improved ventilation, which is, yeah, quite expensive to actually purchase with gold, and therefore the savings down here, as I always say, aren't necessarily reflective of that. You get 7 days of premium time, which will be charged at the rate of a 7-day premium time that you can buy in the store. So it's a really bad rate. So they'll charge you gold for that, which of course you would never buy. Well, hopefully you would never buy just 7 days of premium, like a ton of times, to be able to get your year's worth of premium. You'll be buying it as a bulk and therefore way cheaper. And of course, usually I would recommend buying it on Black Friday, which is coming up, for half price. And of course, during certain periods, they release premium time for half price anyway. So that's my recommendations. So the Ultimate Bundle for me is usually the one that I would never ever recommend personally to anyone I know. Of course, it's up to you whether you want to spend that money. But for me, it is a really bad value for money in my eyes. But then moving forward, we have the Alvastormer 30 loaded, which comes with the premium boosters. And yeah, I mean, for me, they're not really worth it, and they're not even the biggest boosters anyway. So I'd rather just save my gold and then purchase the bigger boosters on their own. But I mean, they're not bad, and they come with a decent amount, and it only costs you an extra 1,500 gold or 1,600 gold to be able to get it. So weigh it up, maybe those 40 boosters, 20 of them being Commander XP boosters and 20 being ×3 Vehicle XP boosters, might be worth it for 1,600 gold, but of course that's up to you. And then the 7 days of premium time are added in there for basically no benefit, to be honest with you. But yeah, now other than that, if you want the base version, 13,000 gold. Yeah, very expensive for this light tank at Era 3, and that means that this tank is going to cost literally like £45 for one tank at a 25% discount. So it is ridiculous to purchase a tank for on an online game for basically the same price that you could buy a full game for. And considering that I bought Ark Survival Ascended recently for like £35 and have spent hundreds of hours, well, not hundreds of hours, but tens of hours already on it, it's going to be way better investment than purchasing one tank that I might play, 50 times or something like that. But of course, that's up to you. Do you want to purchase this tank? Do you think it's going to be worth it? Do you have a load of money lying around to waste on things like this? Or maybe not waste in your eyes if, you earn £500,000 a year, then spending £40 on the tank is nothing. But if you were earning, £15,000 a year and you spend £40 on this, it might not be too achievable for a lot of people. But of course, that's down to your own financial situation, and I would never say go out and spend money. I'll just give you the idea of what the tank is like and recommend which bundles are usually the better ones, in my opinion, as to the better tanks in the game. Overall, this tank is probably going to be pretty good, even if it isn't necessarily the Weasel Toe. It is very, very similar in that regard, but of course is slightly bigger than the Weasel, So it's going to be a bit more of an easy target, I guess, when you come up against this thing. But of course, let me know your thoughts on the Alvis Stormer 30 in the comment section down below. Are you playing a lot of Cold War and finding this thing is really annoying to come up against? I could probably guess that it will be, but yeah, it would be interesting to see your guys' thoughts. Either way, let's jump on to the new contracts, which are the Deadbolt and the Sharpshooter, which come in at tier 5 and tier 9. Now, the Deadbolt is actually an interesting heavy tank that is essentially like a BDR with some weird British turret and then this weird gun on the top of it, maybe a German style gun, I believe, something like that. But overall, Deadbolt, I mean, it's nothing too spectacular. It's a tier 5 mercenary tank that's usually okay. Yeah, I don't really see much benefit in getting it unless, of course, you have every of the other tanks and you just want a quick one. And of course, you can farm up some like premium time. You can get some rewards just by completing it anyway. So, I mean, if you've done all of the contracts, then you might as well do it just for the silver and the premium time that you get from actually completing some of the stages, as yeah, it's just a nice little addition. But the more important one is the Sharpshooter. This is the tier 9 mercenary vehicle that has the Chieftain turret alongside like a T95 hull, and then of course it's just a very good tank in general. And the Sharpshooter itself, I don't believe that we can, maybe we can actually, but we can have a look at the statistics of it. I'll just give you a brief overview. It's got 390 alpha, has 220 penetration on its standard rounds, which is very good, and 270 on its premium, which is very good. You have a decent top speed, I believe, of, where is it? Should be here somewhere, 48 kilometers an hour. So it's relatively fast for a relatively armored medium tank that can get hulled down. You have 8 degrees of gun, or 10 degrees of gun depression, sorry, which is really nice as well. And when you have the Chieftain turret, I mean, 10 degrees of gun depression's pretty good. So yeah, you're going to be bouncing a lot off the turret. The main gun, really nice, as we said. You got a decent accuracy of 0.3, so really good. Of course, that's base, and it's going to come even further down when you're putting all your perks and equipment on it. And 2.7 second aim time as well. So overall, this tank is definitely the one that I would recommend everyone go towards, as it's just very powerful in the game, and you get a 2D standard commander alongside as well. And of course, alongside the actual tank, you'll get a load of silver for completing various different missions. And I mean, stage 7 gives you 3.7 million silver, which is pretty good, especially when you're getting a free mercenary vehicle at the end of it. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below, and of course let me know what you thought of this week's news and everything that's going on right now. And are you looking forward to some of the Christmas events that we're going to be seeing? The special sales, you've got a few different things which are essentially ones you can buy in the store, which are for the extra life. So you can basically, each purchase of these is going to go towards extra life fundraiser, which is good. And I'd recommend doing it if you got a little bit of spare money going around and you want to help a good cause. We then got the big booster and consumable sale with 50% off boosters. And this is something I always purchase usually, is the ×5 vehicle XP boosters. And I will sometimes buy the ×2 silver boosters as well in the pack of 100. Even though they're very expensive, I find this is the best use of my money on the game, other than having like premium time and stuff like that, because it just accelerates my training of all of my vehicles way faster. And yeah, when I'm trying to review like every tank in the game, yeah, you can see why having the ability to basically go 500% speed on grinding through all of the tech trees can help quite a lot. But of course, let me know all of your thoughts, and yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and I hope you join back in tomorrow's video where we have a look at, of course, the Alvis Stormer. And yeah, I'll see you there. Goodbye.